Hey everyone. Okay, so I am just gonna come clean with this. I am currently blinded with rage right now because, and I'm gonna flip the camera around and show you. Here we go. Already I'm off on a tangent. Okay, you guys. Once again, I have opened my big dumb fat mouth and I have said, I'm gonna do a video where I'm gonna share my tips and tricks and all the perfect things I do to create the perfect party. You guys, oh my gosh, as soon as I said that, I was like, I totally forgot like how crazy I get and how my OCD kicks in. And you guys, Steve is upstairs. He's not traveling this week, and he is in the lovely task of hearing me just rage down here because you guys, I cannot talk. I can't talk. But if you're like me, if you are like me and you love to host and throw parties, oh my God. There's no coherence to my sentences at all. It just doesn't make any sense. And it's so funny because sometimes I will talk and I'm like, okay, that sounded okay. And I'll take the camera over to my computer, upload the footage, and I'm just like, what am I saying? Like, I don't even think that's a word. That doesn't even make sense. Like, it's crazy. So let me just like take a breath and I will tell you the story of what has happened. So I thought I would do a video on how to host the perfect Super Bowl party. You know, we're just days away from the Super Bowl. And I was like, I need to get my butt in gear. We got to do this. And so for the past couple of days, I've been like, when I've been at Target and stuff, I've been buying some, but okay. Here we go again. I don't know where to start the story because my brain just goes in a million places at once. But I was worried that the video was going to be like this, where it's just me standing here talking for, you guys, I timed it. I wrote like an outline of all the things I wanted to hit. I literally rambled on for like over half an hour. It was absurd. It was ridiculous. I'm like, I'm not going to put a video out of this kind of content that long. I'm like, it's not a home, like, oh my gosh. So then of course I have this grand idea where I'm going to create, hello, we're on YouTube. I'm making a video. Let's make it a visual experience. And so I was kind of thinking, you know what I need to do? I need to actually host a faux Super Bowl party and I'm gonna film everything. So I can show you guys the setup I use when I create a beverage station or the setup for like how I put like the bean dip out and stuff like that. So I can actually so it's a more engaging video. You guys, I bit off more than I could chew because it is madness over here. But for the past couple days, I've been making trips to Target and I've been buying some little bit of a decor and the video just got too big for itself. I started editing and again, I wanted to kind of fall back into our earlier days of making videos and I wanted it really polished and stylized. But I was like, if I do this video is gonna be out like maybe next Christmas. So I'm just a little disappointed because I'm sorry, you guys, I'm throwing in the towel. I am not going to make that video because it would have cost me my sanity. But I will show you kind of some of the things I've been working on. Okay, so right off the bat, I have a nice clean kitchen. I know I have like cluttered countertops, but we just have a lot of appliances. But I spent like a good chunk of the weekend cleaning up the kitchen because I wanted everything to look nice. This is like a board I was standing on, or it's like one of those like, you know, Jane Fonda step up aerobics things. I just needed like a lift, so I appeared a little bit taller in the video. That was a whole thing. I'm not kidding you. I must have spent like 4 hours just like fiddling as to like how I wanted the camera to be because I didn't want to do this, right? Because this is more of like conversational, let's talk, home vlog, stuff like that. So I wanted it to be more of a thing. So I was like, I put the camera on the counter on a tripod and I was like, it took me forever to get it finagled because it would be like this. I'm like, see the top of the frame? I wanted it to be like perfectly straight. Like it was ridiculous. But then I think I had the camera about here. But then when I started talking and I did my whole talk track, but then when I looked at the footage, I was like this the whole time. Hey everyone. Okay, so today I'm gonna show you how to host the perfect Super Bowl party. Like it was like, whoa, like what is his angle? It's like presented by my neck or something. So then I adjusted the camera to be like up here and I was like, oh, I kind of like how that looks. But then I could not articulate a coherent sentence. It was ridiculous. With events like the Golden Globes and the Oscars, with events like the Golden Globes, the Super Bowl, and the Oscars just around the corner, Oh my God! Now when throwing a Super Bowl party, one thing is already, now when hosting a Super Bowl party, what the f? Trust me, no one's gonna fault you for this, and take it. Oh my God, I can't talk. The next thing you're gonna do is to prepare your space. With events like the Golden Globes, the Oscars, oh my God, the Golden Globes. We going to the Golden Globes? They're over. They're over, folks. I've been doing this so long, the Golden Globes have already happened. I was raging. I was so angry at myself because I could not get this stupid line. I was like Demi Moore getting ready for her date in The Substance. I was literally just going insane. And I was like, you know what? This is not fun. And this is like, it's making me angry. I'm frustrated. And I don't know, you guys. I'm sorry. I promised you guys I was going to be doing this, but it's just like, at the end of the day, I was like, here's the thing. This would be a fun video, but I'm just not feeling it right now to make it right now. And it kind of sucks because it's time sensitive, right? You don't want the Super Bowl, how to host a Super Bowl party coming out, you know, in a couple months. You want it like days before. But I'm exhausted. I've got a lot to do today. I have to go pick up Caleb in just a couple hours because he's got a doctor's appointment. I couldn't get a doctor's appointment like after his school. I always feel like I'm interrupting his school day, but it is what it is. So yeah, there's just been a lot going on and I've been kind of crunched for time, and for the sake of my well-being and my family, I'm not going to do this video, but I will, you know, we'll just talk like this, and I will tell you some of my tips and tricks to how to host a great watch party, Super Bowl party. But oh yeah, I was going to show you some of the stuff I got. Like over here, ignore that, but I got some French onion dip, and I got some salsa, I got some beans. I was actually gonna make my own chili, and I was even gonna insert a segment where I would show you real quick, like it would be like a 1.5-minute sequence where I would show you how I make some really good, kind of healthy turkey chili. And then but honestly, you guys, I bought this kind of stuff for show. Like I just wanted to fill my crock pots up with something because I wanted to show you guys this stuff. And then over here is some stuff I got from Target. I got this cute little, it's called a charcuterie tray. I was gonna use it for something else, but it was only like $5. I got this runner. I got some of these fun things. Again, just because I wanted to make the video like really fun to watch and visual. And then I was gonna do a segment about how, like, you know, buy some healthy snacks for the guests who are, you know, maybe don't want to indulge on like 7-layer dip. I went to the storage unit and got our rolling cart. Here we go. See, I can't talk. What is this thing called? A cooler. I even got some drinks. Over here, I had some more chips. I had like some Tostitos and Doritos. But yeah, I kind of went crazy, and I wanted to make a good video, but it was just taking too long. Right now, I don't have my watch on. It is January 30th right now, and I'm kind of kicking myself because we only got 3 videos out this year. This month, I like to do a video a week, so that's 4. Now, we did do 3 videos and a live, but I don't like to include the lives. But there's just no way I'm going to be able to get this video out, you know, by January, and I don't know. Like I said, I just wasn't feeling it. I was kind of excited to make it, and then I was just like, to make the video that I want to put out and be proud of, it's going to take a little bit longer, and I didn't want to like kill the channel, you know, because I have to say, if you've been watching us for a while, this is also the time of year when we kind of ghost. We kind of disappear for a couple months. And that is just because I sometimes go through this like wintertime depression. I kind of mentioned it in a previous video where it's like, you know, January starts and it kind of lasts forever, and it's cold, it's dreary. It was actually just raining here for the past couple days, and it's been dark and gloomy. That was another thing. The first day I was gonna start filming the video, I opened all my windows because I like to get all this like natural sunlight in. Gloomy, gloomy, gloomy. I opened all the windows. It looked like we were filming it at night. And Steve comes down. He's like, what are the odds that it's gloomy the day you want to film? And I'm like, I know, that's what I was thinking. It just was not in the cards. But, tangent, going back to what I was just talking about. Yeah, sometimes I go through this like weird kind of like wintertime depression. And I just kind of want to take a break for a little bit. But I have kind of staved that off this year, which has been great. I've been trying to keep up with eating right, keeping up with my exercise, doing my daily workout, and just trying to keep like a positive mindset. And right now, like this video has fallen apart. It's not going where I wanted to get. And instead of like really getting frustrated and pushing through and maybe putting out something that I wasn't gonna like, I just decided to say, forget it, who cares? And just laugh about it. And you know, we can now make a joke about how this Mike was gonna make this grand video and it just went down the toilet. But I feel bad, so I feel like I will talk about some of my little tips and tricks if you wanna host a party. Here's the first one. Prepare your space. Where you're gonna watch the big game. One of my things was like to clean your TV, you know, give your screen a spritz, give it a wipe down, you know, then you can watch the game in all of its true HD glory. But I was gonna say, like, you know, flip and fluff your cushions, you know, clear the coffee table, clear the end table, create a space for your guests to put their snacks down, put their drinks down, and if you're worried about your furniture, maybe put out some napkins, bust out the coasters. But just overall, make the space nice and inviting and comfortable for your guests, because let's be honest, it's a Super Bowl party. This thing's gonna run anywhere from 3 to possibly 4 hours or longer. The next thing I was gonna tell you guys was to clean your guest bathroom. Give it a good wipe down, restock the toilet paper, refill the hand soap, and make sure your guests know exactly where to dry their hands, because sometimes some of you guys have those like decorative towels that you're not supposed to touch. So I like to use these like Kleenex things where it's very obvious what they're meant for. You can kind of just push them off to the side. And then I also do this thing where I always get nervous if I'm a guest in someone's house and I can't find where their trash bin is. I'm guessing it's probably under the sink in the cabinet, but then I feel worried about it. I'm like, you know, messing around in their cabinets. So I always put this like little bin that is out. And it's funny, the first few times I put it out, nobody knew what it was for. They just thought Mike had this like weird decorative thing on the ground. So I always like, you know, you gotta give people those visual cues. Right before the party starts, I'll go into my bathroom and kind of wet my hands and get a napkin, wad it up, and be the first one to put the garbage in there. So people know that that is the garbage. And of course, if you want to be extra, you could definitely put a pack of Cottonelle in the bathroom, maybe a bottle of Poo-Pourri, and there's no charge to use the squatty potty in our guest bathroom. But I don't know, I guess you can kind of see where the video would have gone. It would have been cool, but I just didn't have the time for it. So then I was gonna move on to food, and that's where I was really gonna give you some good tips, because the number one rule for hosting a party, in my opinion, this is my golden rule, and it doesn't matter what kind of party, whether it's a watch party, a dinner party, Halloween, Christmas, whatever. If you're inviting people over, always have the beverages and small bites available right from the very beginning. For something more casual, like a Super Bowl party, you know, have the cooler ready to go, stocked up. Oh, here's a good one also, because this drove me nuts at a party we had over the summer. Steve went and bought a bunch of like sodas, and the idea was that we were gonna put it in our cooler with some ice. So I bought all the cocktail stuff. We were using those like Cutwater cocktail things. And so I got them home and I immediately put them in our garage fridge because I wanted them nice and cold. Idea being, when it was party time, we'd take the cooler, fill it up with ice, and then nestle them in. Without me knowing, Steve like took them out of the fridge, and I didn't notice until it was right before our guests were coming. And I was like, where are the cocktails? And Steve was like, oh, I put them off to the side. And so I was like, they're warm? I was so frustrated. He's like, well, you're gonna put them in a cooler with ice. And I'm like, yeah, but it's gonna take them a long time. Like, they were in the fridge. They were already ready to go. I was so annoyed. So that's another good tip. If you're gonna serve like beer, sodas, whatever, and you're gonna put it in a cooler, if you can, because not everybody has the space, I get that. But I always like to make sure the drinks are nice and chilled, even though I am going to then transfer them over to a cooler with ice. Trust me, nobody wants a warm soda. But yeah, so something casual like that, just have your cooler ready. If you're gonna make a beverage station, make it all nice and cute and make it ready to go at party time. Nobody wants to wait to grab a drink. You'll notice I have labels on my beverage dispensers, and that was born from experience, because though it may, you know, maybe the average person can clearly tell that this is iced tea or lemonade, it never fails. You may get the guest who doesn't know what it is. So I just try to make it convenient and easy. On the flip side, you're gonna get the person who then makes fun of you for labeling everything. Oh, okay, Mike, I'm so glad you labeled it. I wouldn't have known this was lemonade. Oh, well, your mom didn't know, and that's why the label's there. I was gonna give this little, like, if you wanted like extra credit, brew some coffee, because I went to a party. It was for one of Steve's family, and I was totally dragging that day. I was so tired, and I was kind of like, okay, come on, we're going to the party. Gotta be energetic. And I was dying, right? We go in, and the woman greets us, and she's like, oh, if you guys want some coffee, we have coffee ready to go too. And I was like, are you serious? I'm like, this is great. You know, because she had the whole cooler set up and everything with waters and sodas and beer. But yeah, she had this like cute little coffee bar where she had a fresh pot of coffee going, sugar, creamer. I was like, oh, this lady knows how to entertain. I always like to have the appetizers and small bites out available right at the start time, so, you know, people can really kind of come in and get the party started. Another thing that's good to have if you're like a really great host or hostess is to have a vegetable platter, a fruit platter, and even some like healthy, maybe even vegan snacks, because you never know. Maybe not everybody who's been invited to your party can eat chips and salsa, chips and dip, you know? Maybe you have a significant other or a friend of one of your guests that's coming that, you know, maybe they're lactose intolerant or gluten is not their friend. It's always good form for a host or hostess to really take care of the needs of all of their guests. And I say small bites and appetizers because, and here is probably my second golden rule when it comes to hosting like a watch party, like the Oscars or the Super Bowl, is that whatever you're gonna have is your main dish. Doesn't matter if you're ordering pizzas, if you are going to make pulled pork, if you're gonna make sliders, if you're in Arizona and you're ordering the Sombreros party platter. Always have that come around the end of the second quarter. Because two things. One, it keeps your party fresh. It keeps things, you know, a new treat for your guests. It's like, oh wow, maybe the chips are getting a little stale. Maybe the bean dip is getting a little long in the tooth. But at the end of the second quarter, whoa, something new, the pizzas are here, or what have you. It just breathes new life into your party, and it gives everybody the chance to have something fresh, something hot, just in time for the halftime show. Now, it does require a little bit of work. Remember that pizza delivery places are probably gonna be busy, so order ahead or do what you need to do. But if you are the host who is actually making your own food, you're gonna make the pulled pork, you're gonna make sliders or what have you, if they don't have to be ready till just before halftime show, you've just given yourself an extra couple hours. You know, your food doesn't have to be ready right at the start of the game. And of course, let's not forget, you know, your dear friend who wanted to come to the party, but they had to work late. So they're getting there as soon as they can. And what's waiting for them? Some stale old pizza that's been sitting on the counter since before kickoff. Now, I did say bring the main entree out right before the end of the second quarter. You could bring it out a little earlier if necessary, but overall, don't have it available right away. You want to have that kind of like showstopper moment, again, like I said, where you refresh and revive your party. It really is a great tip. And the same thing for the Oscars. Now, the Oscars aren't going to go generally as long as Super Bowl, but same thing. Start with light apps, small bites, hors d'oeuvres, and then bring something out later. As the evening progresses, maybe you're getting into the end of the third quarter, or maybe we're getting into that last hour of the Oscars, that's a great time when you can bring out your desserts. And again, it can be anything. You know, the sky is the limit with these watch parties. The most important thing is to just space it out. You got a long night ahead of you. But if you have taken my advice on any of these tips, I'm certain you are going to have a fantastic time. You're going to throw a fantastic party. The underlying thread of all of this, however, is just know your guests. You know, tailor the experience to your guests. You know, when I'm hosting a party, if I know that there's someone here who enjoys beer, then I'll put some beer. Steve and I don't drink it, but I will have some beer on hand. If I know that my sister-in-law loves red wine, I'm going to go to the store and buy a bottle of red wine. I want to make sure that there is something for each of my guests, which ultimately brings us to another one of my golden rules, and that is this. No matter what party you're throwing, it doesn't matter. Food and beverage are the most important and crucial parts of your party. Are you the type of person who just loves to decorate? You want to have a balloon arch. You want to have a photo opportunity. You want to have a tablescape. That's great. I love it. But don't kill yourself, because at the end of the day, though they look great in photos, no one will remember it. The only thing they're gonna remember is how good the food was and if it sucked or not. No decor in the world will save terrible food. And after having said all that, have a great party. And after I've been trying to present and host this whole thing, I figured I would ask Steve to make us a Super Bowl themed cocktail.
That's right. We didn't want Mike just to be the talking head throughout the entire thing here. So we did do a Google search for Super Bowl cocktails, and my favorite website came up, liquor.com, and they recommended this one. This is going to be called the Gold Rusher. So we have all of our ingredients right here, ready to lay out. So let's start building our cocktail.
Okay.
Of course, it has bourbon in it.
We got some Buffalo Trace, some Fernet. I see the Clover Honey, Angostura bitters, some ginger syrup.
Let's get going. So we are going to take our jigger. This is a brand new jigger, by the way. Look at this shaker that we have. So that was just sent to me. I'm very excited about that. But we're going to measure out 1.5 ounces of bourbon. And this goes into a shaker. We're using a shaker because we're going to be using juice in this. Anytime you use juice, use a shaker instead of an actual mixing glass. The next is the Fernet. This is only going to be 1/2 ounce. This is pretty potent, so you want to make sure you're not overdoing it on that. Okay, next up is going to be the juice of a fresh lemon. So with the juice, we're going to measure out 3/4 ounce. Next up is going to be the ginger syrup. Now this is very potent as well. Smells delicious, especially if you like ginger-based cocktails. This is only going to be 1/2 ounce of this. Next up is honey syrup, and of course we just ran out of ours. That was in our Monin bottle, so I made it from scratch. So it's 3 parts honey, 1 part water, and you mix it very quickly together to be able to measure out 1/2 ounce. I wish I had this memorized, but I'm doing this impromptu.
Yeah, I kind of put him on the spot.
I just finished up work. He's like, "Can you make a cocktail?" All right, now the last ingredient is going to be 1 dash of Angostura bitters. As you know, it's always the oversized label. Anytime you're looking for this, you always know this is Angostura. 1 dash. Ice, shake, and strain. How beautiful it is. You can probably tell I just got it today, so I'm definitely loving it.
It looks like a thermos.
It's insulated to keep it nice and cold. So, which is nice because if you are doing like a large batch cocktail, it's not going to over dilute as well.
Oh, okay.
So we have our crystal clear ice cube already in our glass. We're going to go ahead and strain the cocktail right on top of that. And for garnish, crystallized ginger right on top.
Oh, look at that.
The Gold Rusher. All right, here we go.
All right, so I get to try it first. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Beautiful.
Very, very nice.
It is a Gold Rush.
Now, why do they say this is good for the Super Bowl?
I think it's because they were thinking the 49ers, which is the Gold Rush. And it's a cocktail that was inspired by someone in San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good. I like that a lot.
Awesome.
And I think that's going to wrap us up today with this video. I hope you had some fun with it. I thought I was going to have more fun at the beginning, but then I wound up having a lot of fun. Just kind of like, you know, pull the curtain back, you know. I don't know why I try to do these like stylized, polished videos. They never work well for me, and they're just a pain in the butt to make and edit. This was so much easier, just being able to just like hang out with you guys.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we're doing here. So it was a lot of fun. I have to admit, I heard him cracking up laughing when I'm working upstairs. So his edit room is right below my office. Yeah. And also when you can hear him yell.
Well, yeah, I was like, he's not traveling this week, so he can hear all my rage.
Oh my, I didn't know this happens all the time. But yeah, you did a good job. Like I said, roll with the punches and making this a great video.
Yes, and thank you for giving us a cocktail to end this video with. I always like to end our videos with that.
Beautiful.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And from our magic family to yours, enjoy.